Eid KAREEM, Ameer Saab by Fauzia Jilani Williams. Once upon a time, there lived a rich man named Ameer. He was called Ameer because he was so wealthy. Ameer Saab had the biggest house, the biggest car, and the biggest bank account. Almost everything he had was big. But Ameer Saab was a selfish man. He didn't like to part with any of his money. Because of this, he only kept one servant, Rahim, and he would make him do all the cooking and all the cleaning. And he only paid him a very small wage. Tomorrow was Eid, but Ameer Saab didn't care. He didn't like Eid at all. It's just a waste of money, he would mutter. Ameer Saab didn't even offer Salah, and he would never give zakah. This is all my money, he would say, and nobody's getting any of it. That afternoon, after Rahim had served Ameer Saab his meal, he stood waiting to ask him a question. Ameer Saab looked at Rahim. I suppose you want the day off tomorrow, he scowled. Inshallah, if you please, Ameer Saab, said Rahim, if it is no trouble. It is trouble, shouted Ameer Saab. You make sure you're here extra early the next day. Jazakallah khairan, Ameer Saab, thanked Rahim, and Eid Mubarak to you. Eid? Ha! A waste of time and money, growled Ameer Saab. Finish your work and be off with you. Rahim quickly finished his chores and rushed off home to his family to prepare for Eid. That evening, Ameer Saab ate so much that his stomach began to hurt. Finally, he called the doctor. It's nothing serious, said the doctor. Take a long walk and you will soon feel well, he advised. So Ameer Saab slipped on his walking shoes and began to walk. Along the way, he saw a woman holding a baby. The baby was crying and crying. Please, brother, began the poor mother. I need to buy medicine for my baby. Please, could you spare me some money? Ameer Saab just turned his nose in the air and walked away, pretending that her baby is sick just to steal my money, he muttered to himself. A little while later, Ameer Saab passed a man in the street. Assalamu alaikum, brother Ameer, called the man, trying to get Ameer Saab's attention. But Ameer Saab said nothing. He frowned and looked at the man, angry that his work had been interrupted. Brother Ameer, we're collecting money for the poor. It is Eid tomorrow. Would you like to make a donation? I have nothing to spare, replied Ameer Saab and quickly moved on. Meanwhile, Rahim was home with his family. His wife had washed clothes for their 3 children for Eid tomorrow, and she had cooked some potato rolls. Rahim's family was poor. Sometimes they didn't have enough to eat, but somehow they managed. Every day, they thanked Allah for everything they had. Rahim's wife emptied an old tin box onto the table. Out fell lots of small coins that she had collected all year. She picked up 3 coins and handed the rest to Rahim. Please go and take this money to the widow Halima and to the orphan who lives at the end of the street, she instructed. By now, Ameer Saab happened to walk by a mosque. It was almost Maghrib time, but he did not go to the mosque, and he did not offer Salah. Outside the mosque sat 2 young boys reading verses from the Quran. They read Surah Ma'un. Then they read the translation. This is what they said. Do you see the one who denies a judgment to come? Such is the man who pushes away the orphan and encourages not the feeding of the poor. So woe to the worshippers who are neglectful of their prayers, those who want to be seen of men but refuse to apply even neighborly needs. Amir Saab heard every word they said, but pretended not to. He hurried down the road. Soon after, he came to a thin boy dressed in rags. "Please, dear brother," said the boy, "please give me some money so I can buy some bread." "I've got no money for you," shouted Amir Saab. "You lazy scoundrel, get a job." The boy hung his head down and walked away with tears in his eyes. As the sun went down, Amir Saab got home. He felt much better. His stomach ache had gone. Soon after, he settled down to sleep on his big comfortable bed. But during the night, he began to have nightmares. First, he saw his father crying and wailing. "Ameer, Ameer, listen to me, my son. Listen to my words." Amir Saab was terrified. "My son, all you care about is money. You never pray. You never give charity. You ignore the sick and the poor. Oh, Amir, if you don't change your ways, Allah will punish you." Amir Saab let out a cry and suddenly woke up. "Oh, it was only a dream, just a dream," he told himself. "It wasn't real." Eventually, he calmed himself down, then went back to sleep. Not long after did he begin to have another nightmare. This time, he saw a woman with a baby sobbing. Help me, my baby is sick," cried the woman. In the dream, Amir Saab looked at the woman. Suddenly, he saw the face of his mother. Amir Saab let out a scream so loud that it woke him up. He was sweating. "It's just another bad dream," he told himself. "It's just a dream." After what seemed a long while, Amir Saab went back to sleep again, but soon he was having another nightmare. This time, in his dream, his gold and silver were wrapped around his neck like a chain. He could hardly walk. Just then, he saw the boy dressed in rags lying in a corner. He touched the boy's hand. It felt cold and lifeless. Amir Saab let out a thunderous cry. "Ah!" and sat up on his bed with a jump. "Oh, it was just another dream," he sighed. He felt so relieved. Amir Saab climbed out of bed and washed himself, and then, for the first time in a long time, he made wudu. After praying and asking for forgiveness from Allah, he changed into a fresh suit of clothes and filled a bag full of money and a basket full of food. All night long, he roamed through the streets until finally he found a boy dressed in rags. The boy was sleeping huddled up against a brick wall. Amir Saab left the basket of food and a handful of gold coins next to the boy. Next, he began to search for the woman with a baby, and not long after, he found her sitting under a tree with her baby who was fast asleep. "Assalamu alaikum," said Amir Saab. "Wa alaikum assalam, brother," returned the mother. "Here, this is for medicine and for Eid," said Amir Saab, and he dropped 2 handfuls of gold coins near the baby. "Subhanallah! Subhanallah! Oh, Allah bless you!" cried the mother, gathering the coins. She was so happy, and so was Amir Saab. It felt good to help someone in need of help. Amir Saab then spent the rest of the night slipping gold coins under the doors of poor people. Finally, it was time for Fajr. He could hear the adhan, and he walked in the direction of the mosque. When he got there, he filled the charity box with money. In the mosque, he greeted everyone with salam, taking their hands and giving them all a warm shake. Everyone was pleased to see him. After Salatul Eid, Amir Saab gave money to the children around him and wished everyone Eid Mubarak. He saw Rahim and rushed up to him and embraced him. Eid Mubarak, Rahim, cried the happy man. Rahim looked at Amir Saab in disbelief. He couldn't believe his eyes. Eid KAREEM, Amir Saab, exclaimed Rahim with his eyes and mouth wide open. Amir Saab gave Rahim a big hug and then placed something in his hand. Rahim watched Amir Saab walking around and greeting everyone. He felt very happy. Then he looked at his hand, and there lay 5 gold pieces. Subhanallah, cried Rahim. From that day on, Amir Saab was a changed man. He still had the biggest house, and the biggest car, and the biggest bank account. But he shared his wealth and never turned anyone away. He gave to the poor, the sick, and the needy, and he was always at a mosque to offer salah. MashaAllah.